When I say greatest video game of all time, do you think of something like Red Dead Redemption 2? With its just vast roster of likable characters, twisting and turning story that just constantly keeps you guessing? Or God of War with its bombastic and thunderous soundtrack that's set against just a beautiful world with combat that's just so intuitive and addictive? Or something like BioShock with its just foreboding atmosphere and the immaculately detailed city that is Rapture. But when you ask Metacritic the same question, it only gives you one answer, and that's Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And so rather than doing the logical thing of just emulating the game on my computer that could easily run it, I went out and bought an N64. And let me just say, it was worth it. Ocarina of Time is just brimming with so much character that so many games nowadays dream of having. Every area you go to has its own unique soundtrack, different characters, and different designs to it. And it gives you different tools and different weapons to go about the area. And it'll give you a new gimmick, mess with it for a little bit, and then try something else. It just keeps on experimenting with new idea after new idea after new idea. I had my expectations so low for this game, and then Ocarina of Time took the bar that I set and absolutely ran with it and did not stop. It absolutely astonished me how much content Nintendo was able to pack into one tiny little cartridge that I can hold in the palm of my hand on hardware that's dated older than me. Whenever you travel to a new location, you never know exactly what you're going to be getting there. Every corner, every doorway, every corridor holds a different mystery, a different adventure to behold behind it. You don't know if you get a new item, a new power-up, if there's going to be a monster there, if the chest will freeze you in place, or you might just randomly enter a hole in the ground that has a cow in it. As I said before, each location has a mood to match it and a soundtrack to match the mood. I don't know how Nintendo always does this. They can always portray the mood of a place perfectly in song form. Whether you're in a shop, they had the soundtrack just completely match it to a T. Or if you're in your house, and then you have a little friendly soundtrack to go along with it. And then when you're in a scary, dark place, the foreboding atmosphere is captured perfectly in song form. So you have all these amazing songs in different locations, but how's the combat? Let me just say, the combat is freaking good. Link, he's so freaking light and nimble, he just jumps around like a freaking jumping bean. He can strafe left, do a backflip, do a jump forward swipe attack. He has so many different moves, and if you are good enough at this game, you can negate all damage by just having proper movement, shielding, and timing with your attacks. It's so gratifying to just take out an enemy and take no damage at all. Now trust me, this game can be challenging, and I died quite a few times, and every time I did die, I felt like it was a death on my part. I never felt like the enemies had an unfair moveset, or a move that could just deal damage against me and I'd have no way of countering it. Every time I died, I'd use it as a learning experience, like, oh, he uses this move? Alright, I can come back later and I'll get him in this way. Everything in this game is just a learning experience of unlearning years of modern video games, because it tells you, alright, what you're looking for is in that direction someplace. And then you ask the game, hey, what am I looking for? I don't know, it's over there, go figure it out. And the game respects your own intelligence to figure out things on your own. And I absolutely love that, because it just encourages exploration and trying out different things. Like for example, I was in the graveyard and I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to trigger this mission. Well, as I'm exploring the graveyard, I find a random grave that has flowers on it. And so I investigate the grave more, and I find an underground fairy dungeon that heals you up to max health, and you can also capture fairies for later usage. And I wouldn't have found that if the game didn't encourage me to try out different things. And talking about things that are just so different, the characters. Man, the characters in this game are so freaking fantastic. It's crazy how they can pack so much character into just text that appears on the screen, and I can feel such a connection to these guys and have such a strong feeling and actually care for them and care for this world. Like the leader of the Gorons, Darunia. He's severely depressed because of everything that Ganondorf has done to them. He's taken away all their food, hidden it down in a cave, and blocked it off so they can't get to it. So his people are just starving, and he has nothing he can do. And so you play a song for him to get him out of his rut.
What? He just starts to dance. This game is freaking amazing. What the heck?
Ocarina of Time has not just impressed me with the story, the world building, the characters, the soundtrack. It's really impressed me with its ideas that it's been able to tackle. With the big one being the idea of growing up and not being a kid anymore. And accepting that something in your life may not be exactly what you want it to be, but that's just the way it is. That idea really applied for Princess Ruto, who really matured as she became an adult and realized that she has to accept her role as a sage. And although that means that she has to give up on some of her dreams in her life, she knows that that's just what needs to be done for the sake of the world. All of these different pieces just come together to make an absolutely fantastic game that by the time the credits rolled and I heard the music, man, it actually brought a tear to my eye, because I'd realized that I'm never going to be able to experience this game for the first time ever again. That I'd never be able to go through the water temple and just be in utter shock and confusion when I saw the reflection pool area. That I'd never be able to play Saria's song for the first time ever again in the Lost Woods. Whenever I finish a game, I usually think about all the different memorable moments that I had throughout it, and Ocarina of Time has more moments like that I can even say. The N64 really is a fantastic piece of hardware. Even the controller, which is extremely janky, the joystick barely functions. It's so weird not having a second one for looking around, having to use the joystick for movement and looking around. But I couldn't picture myself playing the game in any other way, with any other controller, any other peripheral. I really think the controller is something special and works fantastic with this game, with playing the ocarina, with using the janky camera system for looking around, to the Z targeting combat. I really enjoyed my time with this game. It's all good except for that stupid shooting minigame. Holy cow, with the joystick, it's freaking impossible.